I'm going to go see Sean O'Toole with Foreclosure Radar. We're going to talk about a few things that's happening in the marketplace.
Hi, I'm Sean O'Toole, founder and CEO of ForeclosureRadar.com.
I basically wake up to it every morning. It's almost on my breakfast table. When I turn on my computer, I start looking at Foreclosure Radar, seeing what's going on in the auction market this morning.
And we're different than other foreclosure services in that we track what actually happens down on the courthouse steps.
Hey. Sean, how you doing?
Good to see you.
Good. No, this is a numbers guy. He knows stats. He knows everything on what's going on. I met Sean at a San Jose real estate seminar.
And I was actually surprised to find an auction investor there. You guys are always so closed and
we are.
Share, but you were down there talking to folks. You still are.
That Kurt would participate in a documentary type show was I think something you wouldn't see very many auction investors do, and my hat's off to him for that.
Now you've expanded to what, 6 states now?
5. So we're in California, Arizona, Nevada, Washington, and Oregon.
Okay.
And 3 of those are in the top 4 foreclosure states.
Many people raise the issue that one of our customer bases, the investors in particular, are profiting off of the loss of people's homes. The reality is those homes are going to be lost anyways, and they're lost through a state-mandated foreclosure process. It's not something investors set up, it's what our state law outlines. And that foreclosure process really isn't geared to allow consumers to come down and purchase. You have to pay in full in cash. You can't do inspections. It's not really a place a consumer can go to buy a home. So the investor plays a valuable role there in going in, purchasing that home, fixing it up, taking care of the title problems, and putting it back on the market so that a first-time buyer or somebody else can go into the home.
Right now, especially what you've gone from a handful of guys in the state to thousands, right? Which isn't necessarily good for the handful.
I know, because everything is getting bid up. We got bid up again today on some of the properties that we were looking at. I don't know what's going on.
Well, the discounts are shrinking because there's so many more people down there bidding.
Yeah. And some of the regulars, like today and a few days ago, a regular that's been there for years has bid them up. So I think he may be buying and holding a little bit instead of flipping,
Right.
which we're doing. We're flipping.
Certainly in the old days, you get new people would start to come down, and for the regulars who are down there a long time, sometimes it makes sense to bid the guys way up and hopefully chase them off.
Yeah.
So that can also be a strategy.
That's what we think he's doing. We'll see.
Maybe he's just super optimistic that we're going to have incredible sales come this spring.
Or he hasn't done his homework, which I doubt. There's got to be a motive there for this guy because he's pretty shrewd.
Well, I think when you look at how much they've slowed down foreclosures, some of these, the modification programs, now the home affordable foreclosure alternative programs, I still think they're largely designed to delay, rather than solve the problem, right?
I agree.
And by delaying, you keep those banks solvent for now.
Every week I talk to Mike Ryan. Mike is a trusted friend. He's a loan broker with a multi-state mortgage company. And since the financing realm is changing daily, Mike is on my speed dial. So what are you going to talk about today, Mike?
What part of the loan world has not changed in the last 24 hours?
Isn't it changing daily? I mean, weekly at least?
I'll read media stories about what's going on in Antioch or Brentwood or Concord, and I don't know if that is good information. I can call Kurt, which I do on a regular basis. I'm able to call him and find out what's going on in the marketplace. Are prices getting soft, or are rents getting soft? At least to be able to go back and help others. Some of my other clients may be Kurt's competition, but we term it more co-opetition. We cooperate as much as we compete.
The thing about Mike is he's very straightforward. He's not going to BS you. He's going to tell you what the lenders are doing, and he's not going to jerk you around like a lot of loan brokers out in the marketplace. People who are in a foreclosure situation, I mean, they can modify their loan.
If they're not working or they can't afford the house,
Right.
It's still going to wind up on the courthouse steps, and then
We sell it to a whole another segment of the marketplace, usually a first-time home buyer
yes.
who can get in at these lower prices. So it's going to take a long time, probably 4 or 5 years before we kind of get out of this mess, I think.
I hear that number a lot, and looking at the, the amount of homes, the shadow inventory that we hear from different places, easily a couple of years.
Right. The lending industry is going back to where they should have been.
Absolutely.
Which was 20 years ago.
There's too much political and social and media attention on all of the investors that bought in Las Vegas and bought in Phoenix and Boise and Florida, causing these tens of thousands of foreclosures. Until that focus goes away, I don't see where the political climate can change. The investor is still not welcome at the White House.
Right. But so aren't some of the banks going overboard? I mean, I knew somebody who has great credit. They've never defaulted on any of their payments. They have a good income. And this one lender asked for some kind of statement where they lived 25 years ago.
Some of that is just where the pendulum, swung, and it swung a little bit too far and got stuck.
Mike is he's a loan broker, meaning he can go out and deal with many banks across the country. So he's not tied into one bank or one lender. He can get you the best rates that are applicable to your situation, terms, et cetera, et cetera. So I rely on Mike quite a bit.
We'll have to do this again.
Yeah, we will. See ya.
We have a couple guys that go around looking at the properties, so we're constantly texting each other on the cell phones, making sure what kind of condition the properties are in, what kind of work they need. Do they need new carpet, new paint, new kitchen, et cetera, et cetera. And then we formulate that into what the opening bid is, add our costs in, determine how much a profit we want to make out of the cash we put up, and then make a bid.
Hi, I'm Mark Smith. I work for Kurt and a few other investors. I'm a field inspector. I get a list of different houses weekly, and these are the houses I'm going to be bidding on. And my job is to go around to each house just to check and make sure that everything's okay with the house. There's no damages, there wasn't a fire, because we are going to be bidding on these houses. They're going to be up for auction. And sometimes I do meet the people that live in these houses. Their reactions are a mixture of, they can be sad. They'll often, break down and start crying.
Sometimes we'll give them cash for keys in order for them to get on their feet a little bit, telling them, hey, if you move out by a certain date, we'll give you X amount of dollars. If you delay it and you're out in 3 or 4 weeks, that cash for keys gets reduced by X amount of dollars.
At this house right now, I met a girl named Sarah. She answered the door for me, which most people don't. Hi, I'm Mark Smith.
Hi.
I'm here to talk to you about your house.
It's not actually my house. Well, it feels like my home now. It's actually my house, my boyfriend, soon to be my husband. It's been his house for a couple of years, and he's going to lose it. When my boyfriend bought the house, he took some loan with low interest rates. Well, they were kind of dodgy, so to speak, because then they became adjustable, and basically they rose and they became too high, and he just couldn't pay them back. And then a couple of months ago, he lost his job. So yeah, basically it will go up for auction and somebody else is going to get it. I think you go through so many different kinds of emotions. I think at first, we're really frustrated, and my boyfriend is he wasn't going to give up, but we're also supposed to be getting married. So we had to kind of make a choice as well in terms of what we had.
So she pretty much knew what was going on. So it was a little bit more on a lighter note of my day compared to what I had to deal with other days. In a typical day, I can have up to 20 to even 30 to 40 houses to look at. Today I have quite a few, so I'm off. I'm going to go finish up looking at those houses.
I think the market can go down another 10% from where we are now. Unfortunately, people are losing their jobs. They can't afford to make the payments. The banks are getting more and more inventory on their books. I just don't see how the market can keep going up or can go up at all. I think what the government is doing is going to delay or basically extend this foreclosure market probably another 3 to 4 or 5 years.